When the Union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? The Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the Union makes us strong. They have taken untold billions that they never told to earn, but without our brain and muscle, not a single will return. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the Union makes us strong.
This is Attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you, so call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
When the Union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? The Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the Union makes us strong. They have taken untold billions that they never told to earn, but without our brain and muscle, not a single will return. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the Union makes us strong.
All right, hey, guess what? Good evening and welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshap. We're going to rock and roll this evening. That song, Solidarity Forever, we're going to ask our teachers. We have some teachers, they've been on the battlefield, so to speak, fighting for better wage increase amongst all the teachers in Guyana. We will hear from them tonight. We have a Prince, we have a King Carl, we have a Queen Tara. I'm the only servant that you have here this evening. They are teachers out from Berbice. Sorry. Some people say Berbice, but it's Berbice, Quarantine. Carl is from Babujan. Andrew is from Kanji. And Tara is from Albion. And of course, I'm from Philippi, between Philippi and Alnis, the two best villages on the quarantine. Philippi and Alnis. Good night, everyone. How are you?
Good night. Fine, thank you.
Yeah. Andrew, your mic, please.
Good night. Good night. I'm blessed. How are you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrew, and thank you, Carl. And Tara, thank you so much as well. How are you doing, Tara?
Good night. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, good. Really nice to have you. Let me say this here, that I appreciate the time that you guys have taken to come on this show, and I also salute you guys for your bravery. Uh, Let me start with Tara first. Tara, that song "Solidarity Forever," we just the opening song. When you guys hear it, how does it make you feel? I noticed Carl and all of you guys were vibing to it. How does it make you feel? Solidarity Forever.
Oh, beautiful question. The union makes us strong. Union with what? Union with uh, what is right? Union with everybody. Union with the people. Togetherness. Together we stand. Together we're strong. Union with God, the source, divine power, love, whatever it is that you consider to be God or strength or unity. So when I hear that song, Forever, Solidarity Forever, it's basically saying to me that we should strive for togetherness in whatever it is that we're doing.
Unity, indeed. Carl, what about you, sir?
For me, it gives me the sense of empowerment because no man is an island, and so together we can move mountains. We can get make great things happen together. I know persons, Superman and so could do things, but um, together we can be so much greater.
So true, so true. You said Superman. I remember small days at Big Alnis. They had a Superman there. Andrew's laughing. Andrew, what this song means to you, sir?
Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Those are some strong words. And that song, Solidarity Forever, for the union makes us strong. That is what strengthens us. That is what binds us. And that is what kept us as teachers for the last 19 days and counting on the front line, fighting for one, for collective bargaining. It unites us. No man is an island, like my brother Carl just said. It unites us, it combines us, and that combined force, that togetherness, it binds us.
Well said, Andrew. If you're now joining us, we have teachers from Berbice, teachers from Quarantine Region 6. They're with us. Andrew, Carl, and Tara. Now let's touch on Carl. Carl, you guys have been out there going on what is it, the third week now?
Fourth week.
Describe
Fourth.
the fourth week. Thank you, Andrew. Describe the protest on the ground, fighting for better wage increase and collective bargaining. Nothing so far from the government side. But what's happening on the ground when you guys go out to stand up and strike for what is right? 6.5 can't work. Talk to us about how much this means to you and other teachers.
Well, it means a lot to us. We have been able to stay strong, to continue to mobilize our colleagues to be out there because we know we are fighting for a just cause. We realize if we haven't stand up because we are in essence the union. We realize if we haven't stand up at this time, going forward, we would not have had any voice, right? So it has been very inspiring for me because when we look at persons being there out on the front line daily, sometimes not doing too well health wise, but they are there. That in itself motivates me to be out there and to continue along in this struggle, even though so much have been thrown at us, to scare us back into the classroom. Right. So it has been for me a very exciting journey. It has been grueling at times being out there in the hot sun. We don't deserve to be out there, but realize that we have to stick to persevere to the end, right? Until we can have something fruitful coming out of this stance that we would have taken.
Thank you so much, Carl. Tara, I know we have seen you out there at Rose Hall and maybe other places there. You were beating the drums the other day. You were singing and with everybody else, your colleagues, Solidarity Forever, 6.5. I remember watching you in a video and just the way you said it should drive those who are preventing you guys from getting more than 6.5, the fear in them, because you were on top of your voice. 6.5 can't work. It can't work. Indeed, 6.5 can't work. Tell us why 6.5 can't work and how important is this struggle for you and your fellow teachers?
Thank you. So 6.5, what does this symbolize? What does this represent? Do we deserve 6.5? Uh, what can 6.5 do for teachers? Everybody is complaining. They're saying that it's not a livable salary or wage. And when you look at it, it's true. Cost of living is high. Public servants' income on the whole makes absolutely no sense. So um, it means a lot to me, especially to be out there to encourage everyone to stand up for what is right, basically to stand up for themselves, to stand up to um, deprivation, oppression, to stick up for themselves, to say, okay, this, I deserve more, I deserve better, um, and I should be compensated. Uh, we find that our voices are being suppressed. We don't. There's no free speech, freedom to speak in this country, because the second someone raises their voice to say something, what's going to happen? They're going to be victimized, right? They're targeted, um, and so is this what we want for our students, for the future generation? Is this what we're training them to be? Is this what we're teaching them as educators? Is this what we want for our country? So why should we just sit back and accept it when we know that we deserve better? When we know that it's not working? When we know that it's not meeting our needs? It's not satisfactory. So why should we just take it and sit down?
Well said. If you're now joining us, we have three teachers out from Berbice, East Berbice, Tara, Andrew, and Carl. They're with us. Andrew is from Kanji, Carl is from Babujan, and Tara is from Blackbush. I'm sorry, Albion. Sorry
I'll
about
be
that. Sorry about that. Andrew, how much of an impact you think this is having on you as teachers, yeah, teachers, your colleagues, yourself, and so forth? Sorry, and the fact that you guys have been out there going on the fourth week now, fighting for what is considered a better wage, a better salary, so that you guys can take care of your families and so forth. How important is this struggle for you, sir?
Mark and viewers, it is the fourth week ending today that teachers across the length and breadth of Guyana are out on the road picketing the government at the end of the day for wanting collective bargaining. What that simply means: come to the table and let's talk. We know that in the fastest growing economy, the Dubai of the Caribbean, teachers are being underpaid 6.5%. We had a 7% increase and we had an 8% increase. And then we went to a 6.5. You're telling me the Dubai of the Caribbean, instead of increasing, we're decreasing the salaries? It is the fourth week. Teachers deserve better. We deserve to be in the classroom with our students. We deserve to be there to educate the future generation. We deserve to be there for those our future leaders of tomorrow. You have coming up shortly the National Grade 6 mock exam 2 for the grade 6 learners. That is on the 13th and 14th, or the 14th and 15th of March, which is just 2 weeks away. And you have majority of the teachers in the system are outside and they are there, and the government just placed a blind eye to that. What are we having? You have teachers out there. Come on, speak to the union. Let's come to a decision. Let's say, okay, it is so much of an impact that I am sitting where I'm living. You find students going to school and then they have to go home back because no teacher is there. And it is having a mental toll not only on teachers but also on parents. And if we are saying that the government and the administration at the end of the day, they don't care about teachers, then look at the welfare of the learners. Look at the students. You have teachers out there. Come to a decision. It is such an impact to see, an embarrassment to see that teachers for 4 weeks are on the picketing line and no word is coming from the government. No word.
Absolutely no word. Thank you so much, Dan Raj. Well said. Let's welcome all of our listeners around the world, wherever you are. Good night and welcome to Straight Up. We have three brave teachers with us this evening, Tara, Andrew, and Carl. They are with us. They are standing up. They are on the streets, on the road every single day. The protest, the strike is on. They're in the sun, the hot sun. They're on top of their voices. They're singing, they're beating their drums, they're chanting, and all they want is a better salary so that they can support their children, their families, so that they can be better teachers as well. They've made so many sacrifices in the classroom. Tara, let's touch a little bit about Albion. Not just Albion Roadside, not just where the sports complex is, but down by Guava, Bush side, and so forth and so on. Talk to us a little bit about what the community, the village is like, how much of an impact this has as it pertains to students not being able to go to school. Not your fault, not Andrew's fault, not Carl's fault, not any teacher's fault. We know whose fault it is. But talk to us a little bit about how parents feel and students are feeling in your village or neighboring village as well.
So basically, the children are missing school. They're missing their teachers. We find that the kind of support that they receive from educators, from teachers, that's the support that they lack from their own family, from their own mother, from their own father. All right, they don't have that. They don't have that connection. Most of the time, most of the children's time is being spent with the teachers at school. They are so accustomed to the teachers. The teachers have become their second parent, their doctor, their healer, everything, their best friend. So this is what they're being deprived of. It's not just about the academics; it's the connection, the bond. They're missing that, and that is hurting them. And because of that, they feel that the teachers are abandoning them. The teachers don't care about them. That's how they feel. That's how they're being made to, that's how they're made to feel. All right, and who's getting all the blame for it? The teachers. The parents are frustrated. They cannot handle the children the way most teachers handle them. All right, they just want to send back the children to school because they don't know how to deal with their own children's behavior. Sometimes I have parents calling me up complaining about how their children are behaving, and I have to be the one to do the counseling and all of that. So it's impacting everyone, not just teachers, uh, students, um, the parents, and the community as a whole. The drivers, the vendors, everybody, because everybody's income is being affected and the connection is not there.
Well said, Tara. 22 minutes after 8 o'clock. It's 22 minutes after 9 o'clock in Guyana. Those of you who are now joining us, good night and welcome. And Tara is correct. It's having an impact on all workers, not just the students, not just the teachers, not just the parents, but the vendors as well, the taxi drivers, the minibus drivers, and so forth. And we know who is responsible for that. Get to the bargaining table, get to the table for proper discussion so that these teachers can get back into the classroom where we want them, where they're needed. Let's head over to Carl. Carl, before I ask you the same question, of course, how is it impacting your village and primarily villages like other than um, Babujan, you get Port Brant, you get Missy B, you get Teen and Letterkenny and Arkline and all those villages and so forth. And you go back the side, you get comprehensive. Mind you, Winifred Gaskins, the best school in the country. Just thought I'd make that clear.
I guess there's where you attended.
You never know. But let me say this though before you respond to how much of an impact this is having on your villages and your school and your students. Let me take this time to extend condolences on the passing. Not so long ago, a teacher burned to death in somewhere there at Port Morant. Is that accurate, Carl?
Um,
There was a teacher
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember off it.
because a
Tara, are you?
couple
No,
weeks.
Yes, yes. I think it's the teacher he used to teach at the
Oh,
Islam
oh yeah,
school.
yeah, yeah. Right. Opposite the market. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was my colleague because I once taught at Quarantine Comprehensive High School. Yes, so that was my colleague indeed. So
So
we
condolences.
had a good working relationship when we were there.
Yeah. So go ahead. How much of an impact this is having on your school? The schools around there, Compre and Chandy Singh and so forth, secondary school and the primary schools, nursery schools. How much of an impact it's having? You guys out there.
It is having a significant impact on the schools. More so my school and Portmont Secondary, because those are two of the secondary schools where most of the teachers throughout this period have chosen to stand in solidarity in the union. Of course, people have a democratic right to decide whether to be on strike or not. But I can say for my school, it would have had a significant impact. That is Low Quarantine Secondary School. I'm the head teacher at Low Quarantine Secondary School. And our students are not very advanced. Of course, you have outstanding students, but generally speaking, they are slow learners. And so, 1 month out of the classroom would significantly affect their learning. But what is encouraging for me, because it hurts our hearts dearly to have to be out of the classroom, right? It really hurts us, but we realize, like I said earlier, that we had to take this stance, right? But the point I was making is what is encouraging is that parents understand the plight of the teachers, and so they stand with us in solidarity. Many of them, because of their own busy schedule, have not been able to be on the front line with us as they would wish to be, but they have been supporting us with kind words, and that in itself, motivates us to continue to the end until there is an amicable resolution to this impasse. Right, so it is significantly affecting the school community um, as a whole. As Star would have said, the vendors, the canteen operators, taxi drivers, right? Parents, because remember, many parents are working, single parents, and they would have been dependent on the school hours. We're not, in essence, a daycare, but you know, of course, we take care of the students during that critical time when they also are at work, right? So, of course, they are forced to grapple with sometimes leaving their children at home unattended, and some of the social ills that can come out from that. So it is having a significant negative impact not only on education, but on society as a whole.
Well said, Sir Carl. Well said indeed, and especially out in those areas, Dane, Bloomfield, Auckland, Letterkenny, Wim, and all those, even the schools in those areas to Port Morant. And then there's a primary school also. It's somewhere over there between Belvedere and Hampshire. I think it's called Copper Primary.
Yeah,
copper.
Cropper, that is Albion.
Albion, yes.
Yes.
Let's head back to Kanji, Cumberland, Delft, and all those other areas coming out from Kanji. You got Shitanker, and lots of areas there. Lots of schools, not only BHS, not only multi, but the primary schools, the nursery schools. Talk to us about those schools and the impact it's having, Andrew, please.
Well, basically, like my two colleagues would have said, it's the action has taken a toll, and uh, for one, I can clearly say that I know offhand about five schools within Kanji that is completely closed. And that means that those five schools that are completely closed, There is no learning. There's no learning taking place for the last month, for the entire February. For the high schools, the senior secondary, we are talking about New Amsterdam Multilateral Barbies High School. Based on information gathered, the students would just show up and then they would go home, they would be sent home, because as much as they are a few teachers turning up to work, they cannot carry the workload, they cannot control the amount of children, so it is resorted to sending the learners home, and there you have what is called learning loss. And we heard a lot of this about learning loss during the COVID 19 pandemic. And now you have teachers out there for 19 days and learning loss. And what amazed me is when I heard recently, a few weeks ago, when they said that they're going to move to online teaching. It's like, how is it you're moving to online teaching when persons are still living in poverty these days? There's some students that don't have access to internet at home. How is it that they're getting online teaching? And the effect and the impact, it's significant in Kanji, because when you have a school accommodating 300 learners, and then they have there's no school, 600 students and there's no school, then you're seeing that for one entire month there is no learning taking place. And then when you could have been moving ahead with the curriculum, now you have to go back whenever the time is that we go back into the classroom to recap, refresh before you move forward. And simply this could have been resolved if the government of Ghana, by extension the Ministry of Education, could have sit on the table with the executive of the Ghana Teachers Union and bargain collectively. We would not have had educators standing out in the sun for 19 plus days saying 6.5 can't work. And it's sickening to know that we have to move to the courts to have our situation and our case being heard, and having a decision. Why is it this hard that the government and the ministry by extension can come to a decision and meet with the teachers? And we rightfully say slipper on the ground, we ain't backing down until there can be a solid decision. And like I'm saying, we are saying that education is a passport to the future. But recently we saw a budget passed in the parliament, and we saw $10 billion going to the National Pathway Worker. We saw 6 billion going to Gaisuku. We saw only 4 billion being pumped into the University of Guyana. So tell me, what is important? Is it education? Is it the pathway workers? Is it the sugar workers? Bear in mind, I'm not saying that pumping monies into this economy isn't important, but I'm saying that your most important resource is your human resource, and more so, it's the teachers. And you should have been meeting the needs of your teachers so that you can have an educated future ahead than rather an illiterate future. And if you were to look at that, you having an educated future ahead, you would have things like thief, criminal activities. Those would be some activities that would reduce in the near future. But when you don't have that much of an input in, and you don't have that much of a care for the teachers, then crime rate would increase, thief would increase, and robbery would increase. And these are things that persons are not sitting and thinking about the long-term effect.
Indeed. Lots of skullduggery, thieving, and all these things in high offices as well. It's increasing there, but the teachers have to continue to suffer. 6.5 can't work. Miss Ram Kellawan, let me ask, as it pertains to the threats of deduction of salaries and They have people writing names down and reporting and so forth. You want to touch on that? I notice Andrew's smiling, but we'll get back to Andrew on that. What is your take on that sort of threat and intimidatory tactics?
Well, why do we have police in the classroom? Insecurity, right? It's weakness. Why can't you just come to the table and have a sensible, mature, adult conversation, right? Come on, is this all just a show? Like, uh, we're having CARICOM meetings with the CARICOM, uh, oil and gas conferences, and whatever. So why can't we have a simple meeting with the union to discuss um, salary matters? Why is it that we're saying that um, why is it that we're saying that there's no need for mediation, right? Is there really no need for mediation? Are we crazy? Are they trying to gaslight us into thinking that we're crazy, we're insane, we have to question our sanity? Um, what does it mean to serve the people, right? What does it mean to serve the people? What does it mean to serve the country, the nation? Um, are you just serving to show that you are serving, or are you serving to actually satisfy or meet a need? Because clearly the needs of the people are not being met. So can you call that service? Of course not. So what are you doing in the high offices? What are you doing seated on those chairs? Are you qualified for that? So I would say if we want to use, if you want to measure, if you want to ask yourselves, what is the yardstick or to measure somebody's patient, it would be, are you meeting the need of the people? Or are you just serving to put on a show? So this is what people need to get right. They need to get it right. They need to swallow their pride, all right, swallow their big fat ego, humble themselves, and come to the table. And let's have a sensible adult conversation. So why are we being ignored? Why are they procrastinating? All right, I love this country. I love the world. The government are my people. Everybody else is my people. So why can't we work together? Why are we beating around the bush? Why are we gaslighting each other? Why are we not just doing what is it that we have to do? It's all a talk, it's all a show. No action is being done. Nothing is, there's no fruit to it.
Well said, Tara. Well said indeed. Let's head back to Carl. Sir Carl, your take on the intimidatory tactics you're seeing every single day. They're intimidating you guys. They're going to take away your salary. You're already not getting enough as teachers. You deserve more. 6.5 is not enough. They're threatening to take away your salaries. Those who are on the striking line, so to speak, legally. There's nothing illegal about this. But how do you feel when they send these threats, these intimidatory tactics towards teachers? How does that make you feel, sir?
I would say I don't feel threatened in the sense that I'm undaunted by it all. But what it says to me is that we are heading towards dictatorship, that we cannot let good sense prevail. Um, if the government really care about education and care about us as teachers, they would have come to the table a very long time. And so for me, it is disgusting to see the tactics that are being used. It is very, very saddening, actually. And I wish that more teachers would stand up, because if all teachers were out on the front line, and I want to appeal to teachers such as those in the so-called Ivy League schools, because often they're the ones that are given all the resources. They have the best students and they're given. Let me just backtrack on that, because I don't like to use those terms. Um, what I would say, they're given most of the resources, and not all, but they're given most of the resources, and they need to look at this whole situation holistically, right? We are all consumed, and And if we are all consumed, we are all affected. And I don't think they're getting better salaries. Probably they're getting incentives that we're not aware of. And even if that is the case, if all teachers stand up collectively, it is my impression that this would have ended a long time ago. So I want to appeal to all colleagues. I'm heartened to see that we would have started the mediation process. Of course, we don't know exactly what will come out of it, but it is a step in the right direction. At least we know if mediation doesn't work, most likely we'll go into arbitration, which the union has been asking for all the while. And when I say the union, I want to make a very pellucid point. I'm saddened that this has been labeled political. Of course, we have debunked all of those statements by our stance. I'm heartened to see my brothers in Essequibo, especially because I'm an Essequibian also. I often tell people I'm a Guyanese. I'm actually a product of Anna Regina Multilateral, and so Essequibians are by nature timid people. So the stance that my brothers have taken in Essequibo, my sisters also, it is very motivational to us throughout the country. And I think many persons who were somewhat scared of the tactics that the government have been using when they saw, our brothers in Essequibo standing up, that in itself motivated some individuals to come on the front line. Of course, we know our brothers and sisters in Linden, they have always been at the forefront of battle for, our rights to, our struggles to be heard, our voices rather to be heard. And so we're happy, that, the ones who have remained committed to this cause, we're happy. But the point I was making, not that I haven't made it, but um, teachers have been the one who have been asking the union for a very long time to take action. And so we're happy that, action has really been taken in the strongest possible manner. But we are saddened, very, very saddened that, we continue to see very little positive response coming from the government. They have not thrown out an olive branch. They have not stepped down from their high horses. As Tara pointed out, um, we see ourselves as the proverbial stepchildren in our own country. The oil merchants and the gold merchants and everybody are getting lopsided deal in the sense that they're taking away all our resources and we're getting next to nothing. Of course, the next to nothing that we're getting from oil is significantly more than we're getting from the other sectors. And we're only saying as teachers, we must be able to enjoy the good life here. We are contributing significantly to nation building, even though we are often termed the unproductive sector, but we are not. I think that rhetoric is something we have to move away from because what we do is light the fire that cause our children to achieve their true potential, and that in itself, as we often say, we are the one who are responsible for all the professions that are there. So stop with this point of view that we are not productive because what we do enables the other individuals in these sectors to be productive because we education is beyond book, and so what we do, we teaches the holistic individual to make him a better citizen for Guyana.
Well said, Sir Carl. Well said. In the beginning, I thought you had an accent from Essequibo. I didn't want to get involved with that, right? But glad that you have said that you're. Thank you so much, Sir Carl. We can feel the passion from all three of you. People in the audience are very emotional. Bantu King and Janice Booker and Rastaman and all these other people watching. They are not usually brought to tears. Tony Hack is in tears, he says. He's in tears. And seriously, it's very emotional. Carl, when you mentioned about they're branding this strike, teacher strike, as political, I notice Andrew smiling. There it is, Andrew smiling again. Andrew, take over that part and debunk what they are saying that this strike is political. Your take, sir.
Mark, I have to laugh And the reason I have to laugh is because nothing in this industrial action is political. And I'm saying this. Nothing in this industrial action is political. While Coretta McDonald AA is the General Secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union, she also has the constitutional right of being a member of parliament. While Gao Cheer is also politically inclined, why when Gao strike, it is not termed political. But why is it that it's termed political in 2024? Now I want to backpedal a bit. In 2018, when the Guyana Teachers Union took a stand against the then administration, it was not political. Then we had the present education minister, the vice president, and even the president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana throwing their 100% behind the Guyana Teachers Union. But today, it is termed political mark. And I want to clear the ear. My brother Carl mentioned it earlier. Oftentimes, sitting around the table at meeting, you hear the various representatives from the various clusters would come to meetings and they would say to the union, our membership is ready. Our membership is demanding more. Our membership is saying X, Y, and Z. So this industrial action here that has been taken was not something that Coretta McDonald or Mark Light or Collis Nicholson or Andrew Danraj or any one of the executives sleep at night and wake up and say, oh, we're calling an industrial action. In October of last year, we wrote to the Ministry of Labor for conciliation. Nothing happened. We waited the process. Nothing happened. We wrote for arbitration. No response. But in January, when we wrote informing them that the teachers will be taking to the streets, then a response came. Oh, you cannot do this. Why all the time when we were writing, no response was coming? But in January, because we say we are taking it to the street, you're responding to us. It is simple. When an administration or a government at the end of the day find any organization or collective body or union stand up against them, they term it their own way. And they try to make persons within that entity, that organization, that union to look at it on a different spectrum. And what they were trying to do is to try to say to teachers, the educated teachers out there, that this is something political. But teachers are well educated, teachers are smart, teachers are bright, and teachers knew that this here is not political. And Mark, I want to ask you, if you as a man can stand up and say, okay, we're calling an industrial action, and 14 other officers are going to say, follow you and say, okay, and they don't have no say. And then thousands of teachers, 6,000 plus teachers are standing on the road. Therefore, you're a man of power. Therefore, you're a man of power. But what they fail to realize is that this here is a collective decision. This here has nothing to do with politics. And when you're going to say to our teachers that it's politically inclined, we are smart. Because all we are asking for is a bread and butter matter. We ain't asking for non peanut butter and sandwich because we know at the end of the day, we cannot take a party card to the market or the supermarket. While when you give us a 6.5 increase, you went and say, okay, we're going to give you a 25,000 one-off cash grant. Simply what you could have done is say, okay, 20, do the maths. 25,000 would give us a 8 or a 9% increase with the 6.5. Let's merge it together and give the teachers, give the public servants. But you want to show the people of the country and the citizen that we have money. So when you give 6.5 in one hand, you're taking back 6%. And then when you're giving the 25,000, say it's tax free, plenty persons paid tax on that 25,000 all that was tax free. So I'm saying here tonight that this is nothing political. This is what teachers are basically demanding. We are no longer asking. Asking sounds like a nice word. We are demanding. We are demanding what is rightfully ours. We are the molders of the future generation. We deserve better in this country. We deserve better. If by chance a minister can come and exit their salary one month alone with a teacher at the bottom of the scale, and if they can make life with that, then we would say, okay, we're gonna live with that. But if you cannot make life with that, then something is wrong. While you are living the luxurious life up there, teachers here are punishing and they're living from paychecks to paychecks. And I want to touch on something quickly. It was said in a press briefing or an address that the teachers were paid during the COVID-19 period. And like we all know that the COVID was a pandemic. It was not something that the teachers brought about. And it left me stunned because you know why? When that lockdown happened on the 13th of March 2020, we saw that it was 2 weeks. The first stage was 2 weeks. And then it went on until the term end. But I can safely say that after that period, when the term ended, the Easter term ended, and the commencement of the August term, many teachers started online classes without even the ministry initiative. Many teachers even got away and went into schools and taught their exam classes. And you're saying that teachers were being paid during the COVID-19 period. And I can say to you, I know numerous teachers who hide and went into school and taught their exam classes. So while you're out there trying to find ways to say to teachers X, Y, and Z, have a good counsel. Because teachers are sensible, we are educated, and we are very much of a sort critical thinkers. Threaten us, you're going to cut our salary. But like the judge stated, no salary cuts. So as much as you're going to threaten us to say that, okay, teachers are going to return to the classroom, we're going to stand there. We are there for the long haul. We are not there for today and tomorrow. We are there until a decision, a solid decision can make for our teachers across the country.
Well said, Sir Andrew Danraj. Well said. None of us, right thinking guidance, and I know most of us are in agreement with what you have just said. Thank you so much for your bravery again. Let's head over to Tara. Tara, same question. Why do you suppose they are labeling the government of the day? Uh, why is it that they're labeling this protest, this strike, politically motivated?
So it has to do with the race. The Guyana Teachers Union um, is led by Dr. Mark Light, who happens to be Afro Guyanese, and the GS is also Afro Guyanese. So if it's led by Afro Guyanese, and obviously they're gonna think that it's political because we're going against the current government and siding with the opposition. So I want to ask a question. I am Indian. I'm Indo-Guyanese. Don't let the curly hair fool you. So does that mean that um, I'm political? I, when it comes to election, I don't vote for anybody. All right, I don't vote for anybody at all. I don't vote. But I look at both sides, and I see what's being brought up to the table, and I always try to be in a neutral space where I can just focus on doing what is right, what makes sense, being practical. So the whole narrative of this being a political strike, a racial strike, um, illegal and whatnot, it it's not adding up. It makes absolutely no sense because we have people from all ethnicity joining in the action, the industrial action. All right, I'm out there in my shalwar, my Hindu wear, and being an Indian, and I'm hitting the African drum. I do that on purpose to show the people that okay, I'm not an African, so what the heck are you saying? All right, how can this be a racial strike? And if it is not racial, how can it be political? So this is the message that I'm trying to get to the people. So I tend to be dramatic at times. Sometimes the drama is needed.
That's okay. And thank you so much. I'm glad that you keep beating that drum of togetherness, unity, which is what's needed. This is not a political strike. Sir Andrew made the point that Gao's president is a PPP member. He is a member of parliament as well. And when Gao calls a strike, it's not being branded as political or any way in any description, sorry, of such. But because Guyana Teachers Union, they call a strike, as Tara just mentioned. The president of the Guyana Teachers Union is of African descent, Dr. Mark Light, and the general secretary the same. But they have other executive members of the Guyana Teachers Union, Andrew Danraj, you can attest to that, that are not of African descent. So this is not just the African folks within Guyana Teachers Union are saying, let us strike. All the executives, I suppose, correct me if I'm wrong, within the union are saying, let us strike. Andrew?
Yes, yes, Mark. So there are 42 general council reps across the country. And these 42 include my Afro brothers and sisters, my Indo brothers and sisters, and even my Amerindian brothers and sisters. So when you're going to say that, okay, those Afro, Indo, and Amerindians are also politicized, then it's leaving me to wonder. The executive, the central officer core got a mixture of which I'm a part, a mixture of races. And when you're going to want to brand something as politically motivated, then it's sending a different message. And we should not be speaking on a bandwagon of a one Guyana when we are going to be branding things as political. Because if we are going to speaking of one Guyana, we should be talking about the Amerindians, the Europeans, the Africans, the Portuguese, the East Indians, the Chinese, because these six ethnic groups were the persons that came to Guyana and build this Guyana. So when you're talking about one Guyana, you talk about everybody. You don't leave nobody one side. But at this point in time, we are not speaking of a one Guyana because we are leaving the Guyana Teachers Union on the other side like the stepchildren. And we are not looking at that. We are simply saying it is not political. Because if Andrew Danraj is East Indian, Coretta MacDonald is African, Dr. Mark Light is African, then where Andrew Danraj stand if it's a political industrial action? Where Andrew Danraj stand? All Andrew Danraj is saying and the Guyana Teachers Union is saying, we are asking for better salary. We are asking for betterment. We are asking for collective bargaining. We are asking the government at the end of the day to speak with the Guyana Teachers Union. You don't just pick up a selective handful of persons and take them to the State House and call that collective bargaining or consultation. Because at no point in time can anybody consult for me except my union. because my union know where I stand. And you don't handpick persons and take them and call that a consultation.
Well said. Well said. As we look at the time, 58 minutes after 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, it's almost 10 o'clock out there on the quarantine, all through Guyana, not just the quarantine. I don't want blackout to hit you guys, but I just have maybe one or two questions more. Andrew, let's bring you back. Talk directly to the teachers. I'm sorry, talk directly to the parents and the students who might be watching tonight, some of whom might be watching tonight, how important this struggle is, not only for teachers, but for parents and the students as well. I noticed Carl. Oh, yeah, he's back with us. That's okay. Probably went.
So
Good. What
the,
go ahead.
Yes.
this struggle is not for Carl Veneer, Tara Ram Kelwan, or Andrew Danraj. This
If I
struggle here, Mark, is for our future leaders. Today, tomorrow, Andrew Danraj might be out of the classroom, but they are another set of teachers coming up. And we don't want those teachers to come up in this position, fighting, and in this position where they have to be living in. We want the betterment. We are saying to the parents and we are saying to the students, we love you. We, as your teachers, we love you. We know what it's like um, taking money out from our pockets and buy you a lunch. We know what it's like cleaning the nose coal off your nose. We know what it's like doing so much of which some of their own parents would not be doing. We know what it's like for that student or that group of students to run and hug you at the gate in the morning and in the afternoon, run with your bags and those sorts of things. We know. It is not that your teachers are selfish. It is just that your teachers are asking for a better men. It is just that your teachers, we love you. We wish if the government could have met with the Guyana Teachers Union and say, okay, the union say, okay, we're calling it off. We want to go back to our classroom. We love our students. We love our parents. Parents, don't be intimidated by those threats that is going out there. We love you. We love our children and we love our job. We just can't stay there because love would not fill our belly at the end of the day. Love would not fill our grocery basket when we go shopping. We have to demand what's rightfully ours. While a parent might be getting $45,000 a school year for school supplies, a teacher is only having $8,000. How can that match up? How can that match up? There is so much that is expected from the teachers with so little. And still yet, we topping the Caribbean when it comes to NG, to Cape and CXC. We're performing wonderful when it comes to NGSA. And still yet, you are not recognizing your teachers? No, it's slippers on the ground until the government can say to us, um, we're ready to talk and we're ready to give you what you truly deserve. It is dear. Give us what we truly deserve. That is all we were asking for.
Well said. Give the teachers what they truly deserve. They do deserve more than 6.5 because, like that little girl who sang that song, 6.5 can't walk. It is point five that song. 6.5 can't walk. As Tara was chanting with her colleagues, 6.5 can't walk. We heard
That
you.
dear Mark, that dear, where they disqualified that little princess.
Yeah.
She is from right around my area.
Yeah.
That little princess that they disqualified show the true meaning of one Guyana.
Oh, certainly. Thanks for
All right.
reminding Mr.
If I'm
Dan.
to comment now,
Go right ahead, Carl.
yeah,
Sorry.
I think we have a sad reality of racial profiling, and even though we are still generally a very young republic, a very young independent country, we need to move away from this sort of thinking, these faulty generalization. Because yes, there has been to a great extent racial voting, but it's insulting the intelligence and the fact that you do have people from different ethnic groups supporting different political party, while you may have a major ethnic group supporting the PPP as against. Same thing applies to the APNU or AFC. The fact is, you're insulting because that is a point that a parent made on the picket line, that how can you just look at a person and determine by their race that they are supporting a particular political party, right? So that is a really, really poor assumption to make. And the fact that, persons have stood up strong from all walks of life, from all political party, have truly debunked that point. And I think it's time that we start to mature as Guyanese, and we need to be trendsetters, because even the great United States where you are, they have had many problems. And so as Guyanese, I think it's time, and it for me it starts with the educated people. And we have too many proverbial ostrich who are aware of what is going on, but they're unwilling to speak about it. They're putting their heads in the sand. The time is now that educated people have to take a stand. If we don't take a stand, we will continue to go down the wrong path where we're already heading. All right, in what I would want to term elected dictators. And we cannot allow this to happen in our country. It is really sickening, but it's a sad reality that we have to face. Right? And moving forward as a people, we have to take a stand. And this whole idea about one Guyana we see is just a facade, because we see the fact that we are treated very differently from other public servants that has been pointed out. In any profession, you will have persons who are not performing as they should, and that's a stark reality that we have to face it too. But stop branding teachers collectively as being unproductive, as being uncaring, as being hungry belly. That is one of the things that has been said on this strike line. um, you know, it's really saddening to see how people think at time, but that will not daunt our spirits. We know that at the end of this, that something good must come from this struggle. This is a pure struggle. It's a just struggle, and we will continue to stand strong. One very important point I want to touch on before I hand back to you, Mark, is something that really something I've been speaking about a whole lot. I remember I started working on the 5th of October 1998. That was the day that was dubbed the return of democracy after the PPP government came into power after in 1992. And so in 1998, there was still a lot of pomp and ceremony among that. I know it's World Teachers Day also, but that is the day they used to be celebrating a whole lot, the return of democracy in this country, right? Democracy should not end at the ballot box. It should continue throughout. And the other point I want to make, the final point before I hand back to you, is this. Um, from since I've been working, and when I started working, my salary, I think, as an accounts clerk, sub treasury region number two, was below $10,000. Salaries went up significantly when we had that massive strike for 50 something days, I think in around 2003 or thereabout. I might have the date somewhat chronologically wrong, but around that period. You had the Herd Manson Accord, and um, salaries are raised by 30 something percent, or 30%, 28%, somewhere around there. And since then, this government has always been running away from collective bargaining. But beyond that, there needs to be price control mechanism in place, because we don't really get the opportunity to feel an increase, because as soon as you start to talk about increase, the business people, the unethical business people, I know we have good business people out there who really care about their customers, but a significant majority of our business people are very predatory in nature. And I did my master's in India, and even in India, you have price control mechanism, food stuff. There's a cap, and so if we are to be able to enjoy any increase, so we have more disposable income, we need to be a part of the conversation. Price control mechanism, so that we can really truly be able to enjoy whatever little increase we will get, because we will go back to square one, right? If that is not put in place, and we have these unethical business people who their cost of production don't go up, their cost of procuring things don't go up, but yet still, soon as we get the increase, we can't enjoy it because things go up beyond what 6.5, let's say even it is 20%, right? And if I am to exaggerate, even if we are to get 1,000,000% and there is no price control mechanism in place, we will be back at square one, still fighting a bread and butter issue. Thank you.
Well said, Sir Carl. And even as you did your master's out in India, the teachers in India are being treated even better than the teachers in Guyana. And Guyana is supposed to be, as they described, as the little Dubai. Hope you enjoyed your stay there at a university in India.
Yes, yes,
That is known, mind you,
yes.
and
A
probably came
very
out.
familiar university, one with a very high profile, the Madras University in Chennai. Yes, so it was very enjoyable when I
So
was there.
it is somewhere we can find. We know where that university is.
Yes, yes.
And so आपके नाम क्या है भाई? आपके नाम क्या है?
Tamil, Tamil, no, no
Well,
Hindi,
so
Tamil.
good. मेरा नाम Carl. Tara, you laugh. Let's see as we prepare to close off our show. Talk to the teachers, talk to the parents, and how important this strike is for all involved. Tara?
Okay, thank you, Mark. So, teachers, I know you're being labeled. I know you're being targeted. I know that you're being victimized. I know that you're scared and you're uncomfortable and you're being threatened and all of this. But if we don't stand together, if we don't put aside our differences and stand up together, then we're not going to go anywhere in this country. We can move forward without, and this goes to parents as well. Everybody, not just parents and teachers, but the businesses, the community, the country, the world at large. If we don't stick together, if we can find the government and the union uniting and working as partners rather than as enemies, then where are we going? We're dividing our, all right. And as a citizen of the country, it is my duty and to ensure that my mother is shining. And we can't have that if our MOE and our president, they're not, and the government, they're not cooperating. They don't want to come to collaborate with us. We can't have that if the people of Guyana are not standing up with us for basically what is making sense, what is supposed to be working, what is right. If we're gonna have our differences being the obstacle in our path, then we're not gonna move forward. We're gonna be stuck here. And who wants to live like that? There's no future for us. Is this what we want for our children? Of course not. So we have to propel them forward by leading by example, by being the change. Um, People are saying that the strike action, the industrial action is fruitless. It makes absolutely no sense. Go back to the classroom, shut your mouth and go back to the classroom and teach them people children. Right? You're not making sense. It's not gonna budge. Well, I want to have faith in the government because the government is people as well. All right? I want to believe in you. I want to give you power to serve us better, to do what is right. I want you to come to us. All right? And let's collaborate. But the people are saying that, oh, this is making absolutely no sense. There's no change, there's no difference. But we can't uproot the problem if we don't know what the root is. All right? And the issue at hand, whatever that is there, it's buried. And sometimes we have to feed the tree. We have to feed the plant for it to grow, for it to surface, so that we can uproot it. All right, so these conversations that we're having, all the talks, all the voices, all the action, they're feeding this plant to grow, to surface. The issue is coming to surface so we can see it, uproot it, and get rid of it.
That's you, Tara. I kind of like it. Uproot it and just get rid of it indeed. 30 minutes after 9 o'clock. Tara, thank you so much. Carl, thank you so much. Andrew, thank you so much. But we're not done yet. Begin with Andrew in your closing remarks, please, sir. Talk directly to those who are responsible for this. Those, I don't even want to use the term vindictive, and I'm not going to use it, but those who are hard headed enough to see the teachers who are being punished every single day as they fight for betterment. Talk to those who are responsible for this strike, those in the government. Talk to them to resolve this matter.
Mark, simply, we're asking the government of Guyana, by extension, the Ministry of Education, to sit over the weekend in your quiet time, do some introspection among yourself, and place yourself in the shoes of the teachers. If this is what you would want to go through, all we are asking, meet with our union, talk with them. Let's have collective bargaining. Let's hear what is it the union is proposing for its teacher. Don't bother with those naysayers out there. If you have a conscience of your own, let your conscience be your guide. We are simply asking, meet with us. Let's put an end to this. That is all we are asking for. It is not nice to have teachers standing out there for 19 days. Come on. Be sensitive, be sensible. Do some critical thinking and meet with the Guyana Teachers Union. That's all we're asking.
Well said, Andrew Danraj, teacher out there on the, what is it, East Berbice, region number
East
six.
Berbice.
Carl, yeah, Carl, your closing remarks as you address it directly to those in the regime who are responsible for this here and who are responsible for teachers not being in the classroom, students not going there, and all sort of disruption in families, in homes right now. Talk to those in the government.
All right. A pleasant good evening once again. It was very good, being able to come here with my colleagues and be able to talk about the issues, as a result of this strike action. It is very, very saddening that this has had to go on for so long, but we are really, really, even though we are resolute, we really are desirous of being back in the classroom as quickly as possible. However, we cannot go back in the classroom if there is nothing amicably, nothing concrete coming out of this struggle, because it is a just struggle, as I said. So I want to make an appeal to those in authority. I will speak very pointedly. So um, my scriptures tell me that pride come before a fall. And this is seemingly turned into a power struggle. It was not meant to be. And right now, in terms of a resolution, it's a lose-lose if this strike has to go into a fifth week. So at this point in time, I want to say to my brethren in the government, and in the words of my Rastafarian brothers, my sister, and also, that it's time that deep introspection is done, and ask yourself if you really care about our teachers, because I don't want to make a conclusion, but if you really care, don't let it go into a fifth week. So I want to say to our Honorable Minister, Ms. Priya Manik Chan, to my brother Chief Education Officer, Mr. Saddam Hussein, to the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Irfan Ali, the Vice President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Bar Chagdeo. You guys seem to be the major player in the government who are able to ensure that this comes to an end. The union has said repeatedly that we are ready to talk, and the union speak on behalf of their members. So collectively, we are beseeching you tonight to come to the table. Let us put our egos aside and let us sit down and speak and talk sensibly about this, because definitely 6.5 will not work. The inflation is way beyond the real inflation, not what the government is reporting, is way beyond 6.5. And you cannot expect us to wait for something grandiose that we don't know anything about until 2027. So let us have a real conversation now, and let us have a livable wage for all teachers, especially those who are at the lower end of the scale, our TQMs, TUMs, and even our AMs to some extent. So, once again, Mark, thank you for having us. To the listening public, we thank you for your support. It means a whole lot. Um, if perchance, because we know every human have a mind of their own, but if perchance our clarion call, our pleas goes to deaf ears, I want to say to my colleagues in the classroom, we love you, but you're not helping our cause by remaining in the classroom, because if every single teacher in this country decide to come on the battle line with us, we are sure within 2 days it will definitely come to an end. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Carl, indeed. And gosh, I wish we can go on for another hour, but we leave the last word here for Tara. Tara, over to you as you plead with those who are responsible for this, those who are being very mean spirited, and they're in their regime, in my opinion. Your closing remarks, please, ma'am.
Thank you. So, to our leaders, the leaders of our country, and by extension, the leaders of our world leaders. Because if you're a leader in the country or of the country, then and you're making a significant impact, then uh, obviously you're gonna end up being a world leader. And in this case, we are going worldwide. You are world leaders, and so we are here to hold you accountable. I know it's hard to come out of your comfort zone with all the talks going on, all the fingers being pointed at you. All right, you're not comfortable. It's hard. It's tough. You have to defend yourself from all the verbal attacks and whatever, if that's how you feel. But how else are you going to grow if you're not going to come out of your comfort zone? What exactly, if you're so concerned about your image, then work on creating the right image. Because right now, the image that you are giving to Guyana, it's not a clean one. It's not proper. It's not nice. It's not right. So let's work on cleaning that. You are the face of Guyana. You are representing us. Then be the right representatives. Stand up for us. Support us. See us where we're suffering. Try to meet our needs instead of just making impositions and serve. Seek to serve the needs. Seek to be fruitful. Seek to be meaningful. Seek to uh, satisfy people. That's the only way that you're going to be an actual credible source. That's the only way you're going to have the right image um, over. All right, so why not do the right thing? Why can't we just shake hands? Why can we not just embrace? Why can we not just be one people? Why can't we just follow our false pride? Why can't we stop the tit for tat and have some compassion and understanding and kindness in our hearts and just embrace each other as one people? Because at the end of the day, this is what we all want. All right, this is what we want. This is the only thing that makes sense. This is the only thing that brings peace. For us to be at peace means for us to feel a sense of belonging. I belong to you. You belong to me. We belong to each other. When we can feel safe in each other's embrace, then we experience peace. So this is what we want. We want togetherness.
Thank you so much, Tara. So passionate. Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you so much, Carl. We'll just take a minute. And you're talking about peace, Tara. You're talking about love. You're talking about unity, togetherness. We all need this. This political talks about the strike being political and all, it's just rubbish. I salute all of you teachers, all of you here, all of your colleagues who are brave enough to go out there. Not those who, a few who are hiding and peeping. Go on out there. Go on out there, guys. And so, Tara, what is best that we leave here with this message for about a minute as we thank you, all of you, for this year? This is a tune that all of you should know it. And Tara, I know you'd appreciate it.
सुहानी रात ढल चुकी ना जाने तुम कब आओगे सुहानी रात ढल चुकी
Right, good. Saharirat, indeed. Lots of you know it. Hey, don't mess around me, Carl. Not because you spent time in India. Andrew, I know you came home early from the Mandir. Thank you.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
mess around. I'm here to represent Filipinos and so forth. Y'all don't mess around me tonight. The message is clear, guys. Unity, peace, and you guys want not just peace, but a bigger piece of the oil revenue. 6.5.
Can't walk.
And I like that, Tara.
Slippers on the ground, me and backing down.
Slippers on the ground. Thank you, guys. Have a peaceful weekend. God bless all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Good night, fellow. Good night, colleagues. Good night, Mark.
Good night. Again, thank you all.
Bye.
सुहानी रात ढल चुकी ना जाने तुम कब आओगे सुहानी रात ढल चुकी ना जाने तुम कब आओगे जहाँ की रुत बदल चुकी ना जाने तुम कब आओगे
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Kaldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have.
So, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
When the Union's inspiration through the world is blood shall run, There can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? For union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
They have taken untold billions that they never told to earn. But without our brain and muscle, not a single will return. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union will be hosting a special general meeting and elections on Saturday, March 2, 2024. The meeting and elections will be held both virtually and in person in the various regions. Members in Region 4 will be allowed to vote at the Critchlow Labor College, Wolford Avenue. The meeting will be held from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Members are asked to be on the lookout for information regarding online voting and regional polling places. Full participation of members is encouraged. Let us move your credit union forward. The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union will be hosting a special general meeting and elections on Saturday, March 2, 2024. The meeting and elections will be held both virtually and in person in the various regions. Members in Region 4 will be allowed to vote at the Critchlow Labor College, Wolford Avenue. The meeting will be held from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Members are asked to be on the lookout for information regarding online voting and regional polling places. Full participation of members is encouraged. Let us move your credit union forward.